Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to keep on top of various advances in technology and engineering industries. If you've gone into the tech space or engineering space, depending on what specialty you've gone into, it's likely that you've probably done some sort of degree, some sort of certification course, whatever it might be. But if you're one of the few people who didn't believe in the need for all that and got into the industry, good on you, fantastic, well done. Obviously, a lot of engineering, specific engineering stuff, which is, let's say, civil engineering and chemical engineering, whatever it might be, they need degrees for you to even be considered for the jobs. But when you come into the technology, IT side of things, for development work, you don't really need to have a computer science degree to become a developer in an organization. You don't need an IT degree to be someone who works on infrastructure and systems of an organization. I most definitely didn't have a degree in those areas. I did a degree in electronics and communication engineering, which in the final year of that, I did some communication courses, which I learned about telecommunication networks and those sort of things, got interested in, IT as such. I never wanted to work in IT because I loved computers. I used to do gaming and all that when I was younger. Enjoyed that sort of things. I built computers, did everything that you do in the 90s and early 2000s, just having fun, so to speak, and loved that aspect of it. But I didn't really want to go into IT or even engineering as a career. My desire was to go into somewhere into health or into business. Those were the two things that were in my head. Never really thought about engineering or technology, IT, any of that. My parents, at that stage I was living in India, and in India back then especially, I think things have changed a little bit now, but back then you depended fully on your parents to pay for fees for education and and living expenses and all that. You couldn't quite work part-time or anything like that because the way engineering colleges and other colleges worked is you went in at 8 a.m. in the morning, you came back home at 3:30, 4 p.m. That's your school day, so to speak, when you're doing a degree, which when I came to Australia to do a master's degree, and then obviously I knew a lot of people who were doing bachelor's degrees in the country, I realized that it's not the same. You have about 4 or 5 classes a week maybe, and the rest you can work part-time, do all that sort of thing. So culturally, that was the situation there. Yeah, my parents paid for my bachelor's degree education as well as the move to Australia and the master's degree education, and I'm very thankful to them for that. But their vision for me as such was that I would become an electronics engineer and go down that path. Don't know why, but at that stage, in the late 90s, electronics engineering and electronics and communication engineering was touted to be the best engineering degree to do and all that sort of thing. So that's what happened. Got into it, hated doing the engineering side of things. Didn't like engineering maths, that's the thing. Like, I didn't have too many issues with normal math, but when it came to engineering maths with logarithmic stuff and all the other stuff, just didn't enjoy it. And went into, in the final year, got interested and then went out. What I realized is that in most careers, especially if you're working in the Western countries like Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada, USA. 1, yes, we don't need degrees. 2, there are trade magazines. There are lots of opportunities for us to learn and keep on top of things. So today, to keep on top of things, when I got into IT management and IT director role, I was reading more from the CIO magazine. I was reading Tech Republic, those sort of sources. And yes, I did buy consumer magazines because I wanted to see what the consumer was exposed to, i.e. the people that my teams were supporting were exposed to. And some of my engineering staff said to me, pretty much made fun of me, saying, "Oh, you're reading consumer stuff, why?" And my thing was, look, I want to see what the common person is exposed to. They're seeing stuff in a computer magazine. Look, if they are really interested in technology, they're seeing that and coming to us with things saying, "Hey, I saw this in magazine, or I saw that there is this development happening. How can we get it into the business?" But majority of people don't even see that. They might on occasion watch something that comes up on TV. They might watch something that comes up on the YouTube feed going, "Oh yeah, what's that new thing?" And they might go do that. That's about it. That's all they have. So we need to also understand what our consumers, the people that our teams, our departments serve, are seeing. Once we understand where they're coming from, it helps us support them and help them much better than if we stay in our little silo thinking, we've got all these fantastic new platforms and systems and everything here, and we want to have the best and the greatest system. But there is that huge disconnect between what the best system is capable of and what the users at the end are capable of using and benefiting from. So the best system, theoretically, from a technical standpoint, is not necessarily the best for our consumers. So we've always got to look at it from the back, i.e. what is going to benefit our consumers to do their job the best possible way and get the most effective output that they can get. So for those sort of things, having an idea of what your consumers are seeing is great. Like if you're in a tech role or a tech management, tech leadership role, read the consumer magazines that the tech interested people are going to see. Watch some of those YouTube shows and other things where the normal consumers might get exposed to, because that's all their interest is. They're not going to know all the in-depth stuff that we care about. They don't care about the best and greatest in terms of security or any of that. All they care about is the flash, what they can see, what they can do. And then be part of networks. The best education and growth I got is from being part of networks, whether it's a niche network for your industry, for tech professionals or engineering professionals, or even broader groups, but for that specific area. Let's say, for example, and this is because most of my experience over the last few years has been in this area, I'll preface it with that. Let's say you're a IT network and systems admin, and you're working in the hospitality industry, for example. You would want to be in groups that have technologists in hospitality as well as professionals in hospitality, i.e. hospitality professionals. So you can see what pain points they have, what difficulties they have. Because you might design a system that is fantastic from your technology point of being secure, being usability and all that is great from your point of view. But for someone who is running and taking orders, doing whatever they do on a normal basis in the field, your system might be too complex. They need 2 buttons that they can press and orders are sent. So you've got to be part of groups that target the end users in your industry as well as technologists in your industry. And then if you're part of other groups that are that comprise of technologists in multiple industries, you can then glean innovative ideas from different industries that you can use in your space and create innovation. Because innovation, in some sense, yes, there are occasions when you have an insight that, is very innovative and changes the face of how your business can operate, etc. But a lot of the time, innovation comes from a different industry in a different context. You get an idea that is used in a different context that you can use here. So being part of groups and organizations where most of your end users would be, being part of groups where technologists or engineers in your industry would be, as well as being part of groups where technologists and engineers from different industries would be, is going to be very beneficial in building networks, having opportunities for being mentored, mentoring others. You learn a lot more by mentoring others as well. That's the other positive thing you've got to think about. And then you get exposed to a lot of different ideas. You get exposed to a lot of different sources. You might get book recommendations, magazine recommendations, and all these sort of things that you can see and utilize and grow yourself. So for your own growth, whether you're a technology professional, engineering professional, or technology manager, engineering manager, leader, executive leader, one, you need to understand the problems, the pain points of people that your business or your industry is serving. Then you need to understand the pain points, the solutions, and everything that's there from an engineering or a technology standpoint in your industry. Then you need to understand what is going on in different industries and what's going on in the marketplace for technology and engineering in general that you can then bring back as innovative things into your business that you're working at. So look at all these sources, look at magazines, look at things that your end users and consumers are exposed to often, and then you'll be able to put yourself in their shoes, so to speak, and be able to serve them the best possible way you can. So hopefully that's been beneficial for you. Hopefully that's helped you think outside the box on how you can keep yourself abreast with the changes in your industry, in the technology space, as well as in what your end users and customers are seeing from their viewpoint as well. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes as they are released. I wish you all the best in your journey as a tech professional, manager, and leader. I look forward to talking to you in a future episode. Have a fantastic day.